Welcome to Chanel's Reality. I'm Chanel, and this is my reality. I'm trying to move the background. I don't want a background. Okay, there we go. All right. So today, well, first of all, thanks for coming out and joining me on Chanel's Reality. Today I was watching some things with regard to Diddy and some of his new victims, or I won't say new victims, some victims that have come I guess forward is maybe the right word. I don't know. This hair is in my face. Why don't I act right? And I got my thumb. I don't know what I have. I have something with my thumb. And I had these surgeries for carpal tunnel, and now this thumb. Anyway, it's a whole thing. And you go and you get an injection in your hand because my thumb don't want to work. I have something called trigger finger. I don't even know how to explain it, but that's what my doctor told me I had. Okay. And now I can't even really do anything with my right hand. But anyways, so I want to come on here and talk to you guys and let you guys see this video that I saw today. I just was floored. I was like, it's hard to floor me with regard to words I can't say right now. But with essay, I'll say it like that. It's hard to floor me because I've been working with victims of SA all my whole adult career. But the ones that I was listening to today, I was like, oh my God. So I'm gonna let you guys hear some of what I was listening to. So let me just share my screen with you guys and we'll go ahead and get started. Please hit the like button if you like the content that you are seeing, hearing. Hold on. And subscribe.
Someone said
free and easy way.
And when they did the
hold on. It's a free and easy way to support my channel. Shout out to Ken Pye. He always says that. So I'm saying it. All right, here we go.
raid, I'm on them tapes, and there's multiple A-list celebrities. Someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes, and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a trip on me, including certain people
Lord.
that are presidential.
Now, peeps, I sat down today for a super exclusive interview with one of Diddy's accusers, Andria. She's been in the media a lot lately with serious allegations against Sean Diddy Combs, accusing him of despicable and horrendous acts. The disgraced mogul is currently in custody, housed at Brooklyn MDC, one of the most notorious prisons in the US that was also the home of Epstein, where he was mysteriously taken out. Now, this is an interview that you don't want to miss. She revealed the dark secrets of working for Diddy, the feds telling her she was found on tapes with
adult movies. Now,
do you ever wonder how Nectar can offer such an incredible deal for their adjustable bundle? This bundle includes the Nectar Match.
Mind you, I had an ex-boyfriend, and so they gave him the opportunity to come to New York for an audition to New York, nowhere on the East Coast. And a guy I was dating, Anthony Gallo, he's from Cali. We were both from Cali. He got an opportunity. He got scouted by a guy in LA who was a reputable agent, scouting agent. It was initially Wilhelmina Models. And so they gave him the opportunity to come to New York for an audition. When he went out there, he ended up getting a lot of callbacks, but he was back in LA. And they said, well, you're getting all these callbacks, but if you're going to model for real, we need you out here. So he had never been on the East Coast either. So he was like, and at this time, my family had found out that I had did adult movies. Now, mind you, I had an ex-boyfriend, Jake Steed. He was my boyfriend at first, and he manipulated me into the adult film industry. I only did 8 movies in a 6-month period of my life in the year 1999, but those 8 movies in 6 months follow me to this day. Wow. And I signed a residual contract, and Jake Steve been collecting all the money. He done put me on Pornhub. I'm everywhere. And they said he hiding out in South America. He been collecting my money the last 20-some years. I'm the one that gave Ray J and Kim Kardashian to connect. If you look at the production team, you can see we have the same production team. You see mine was filmed first. Me, Ray J, Brandy, we all grew up in the same church, Church of Christ. Brother Norwood, their father is my vocal coach.
Whoa.
So that's how we already knew.
Hold on. Did she just say she was Kim Kardashian before Kim Kardashian was Kim Kardashian? She said she put Kim on. Okay, sorry. This is not funny. Okay, let me get back to my regular stuff. Okay, here we go.
Years, I'm the one that gave Ray J and Kim Kardashian a connect. If you look at the production team, you can see we had the same production team. You see mine was filmed first. Me, Ray J, Brandy, we all grew up in the same church, Church of Christ. Brother Norwood, their father is my vocal coach. So that's how we already knew each other. But they got famous with theirs because Kim Kardashian had a little bigger of a name because of her dad. So when Anthony got scouted, we ended up, my family had found some member of our church, my church from 9 years old had found out I did adult movies. They brought it to the minister who brought it to my parents. And when I came home from work, I was working as a telemetry technician in the critical care unit at Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach. And when I came home from my shift, my parents had it on the big screen. Me with a it in my mouth.
No. Your parents had that on there?
The valedictorian, literally. The sheltered one from the suburbs who had never even had sex before in their knowledge. You know, the innocent one, their love child on the big screen with it. So when I shame my family like that,
What was that like walking into there and seeing?
I told y'all, buckle y'all seatbelt. If you ain't buckled your seatbelt, buckle your seatbelt. And look, let me put my banner up. Hold, please. Child. Okay. Everything shared on Chanel's reality is either, in my opinion, it's for entertainment purposes only, and it's all alleged. So let's get back into it. But buckle your seatbelt.
Seeing that on the screen.
Literally, the sheltered one from the suburbs who had never even had sex before in their knowledge. You know,
Hold on.
the innocent.
Pause. I have to pause. So she just said that she was a valedictorian at her high school, sheltered, had a mom and a dad, but got manipulated into being a thorn star. What I'll say. And all of those things can happen. Listen, I've talked, like I told you, I've spent my whole adult life talking to people. So that part isn't as jarring as someone in your church finds out that you are a storm star, and they take that information and give it to the pastor at your church, and then allegedly, all this alleged, and then the pastor brings it over to your mama and your daddy house. And then when you come home, for whatever reason she was coming home, they have it on the big screen. Who does that? I just don't understand why is that necessary? It makes me wonder, like, what kind of parents do you have that would think it's okay to publicly embarrass you in front of all of these church people, quote unquote? I just don't. That's a different type of evil, in my opinion. We talking about Diddy's evil, and I believe he is 100%. But I'm like, is that not? I mean, who wouldn't want to, after that type of public humiliation? You can't get away from your parents. They're always going to be your parents. If they birth you out or whatever the case may be, they're always going to be your parents. Why on earth they would want to do that to her it's beyond my comprehension. And I've seen a lot. I've seen everything, basically. Listen, I've seen children on a examiner's table no longer here. And this is just savage. That's the only word I can come up with. This is savage. Because what is the purpose of showing her this? You think she wasn't aware that she was there? Why are you showing her this? And listen, I believe in God. God saved my life. I told y'all a few months ago, I was in a whole house fire where I was making French fries and forgot about the French fries and went to sleep. Okay. So I'm not here to judge or anything like that, but I just feel like what part of the Bible is that? Child. Anyway, let's keep listening.
One, their love child on the big screen with it. So when I shame my family like that,
what was that like walking into there and seeing that on the screen?
It was the worst day of my life. I still feel the memory, and it haunts me the same way Diddy haunts me to this day. I can still remember the way I felt, how my parents looked at me. you know. And then so when Anthony got the opportunity to move to New York, I was like, man, hell yeah, because I did the movies in 99, but they didn't find out until 2004. And that was the same time Anthony got asked to move to New York. So I said, man, I'm going with you. And then when we got out there, Anthony was going to go see whatever. He ended up getting an audition with Ford Models, and then Ford signed him. That was Cassie Ventura's same agency. And so we were from Cali, and we had an apartment in the middle of Manhattan. So all the models in between their go-sees and their auditions would come hang out at our apartment. And we had the weed, and that's when weed was hella illegal. So we was from Cali, we had the weed. Anthony looked good. I was working at Larry Flint's Hustler Club, so I was already the hottest stripper because Manhattan is only 11 miles by 13 miles. I'm from Cali, the West Coast. All the East Coast people grew up together. They don't know me and Anthony like that, so they're intrigued. I look good, he look good. It's 20 years earlier. I'm 46 right now. I'll be 47 in January. So imagine me in my 20s, you know what I'm saying? Body was extra banging, and even now, everything's real, butt real, lips real, nose real. I've never had a million behind me, so just imagine that.
Listen,
tell us a little bit
hold
more.
Please. Hold please. Why does sis need to tell us her body was banging? She said what it is okay. Sorry. Let's go back. Let's finish listening. Sorry, guys. I can't understand it. Okay. I'm not in judgment mode. Let me stop.
About how you guys actually got into doing these Diddy parties and him propositioning your dude.
Anthony is signed to Ford Models. Cassie is coming over to our apartment, hanging out. We're all friends. We actually started.
Oh, you was hanging out with Cassie?
Yeah, she would come over our apartment too, because her and Anthony were both signed to Ford Models. We were convenient right there in the middle of the city. So in between your auditions, your casting, you would come smoke weed and hang out at the bomb couple from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? We had the doorman building. We was popping.
Hey, do not sell your Houston area house before doing this. If you just do this one little thing before selling your house in this current market.
So we all had our own private stories of, because you know, East Coast music was a soundtrack to our lives, you know, from the West Coast. Like, we was fans of everybody: Mary J. Blige, Biggie, 112, Craig Mack, Mace, you know, Black Rob, you know, Dirty Money, Diddy, you know, everybody, you know. Lil Kim, shout out to Lil Kim. I got to meet her with T-Pain. She's very nice. She was very nice to me. So when we got there, we all had our own, like, when me and Anthony got there, we had our own vision of what we would do if we ever met these certain people, Jay-Z, Diddy, and all that. And then Cassie did too. Her and Anthony were inspiring models. And Cassie wanted to sing and stuff. Anthony, he just more wanted to model, smoke weed, look good, get his dick sucked type shit. Cassie, she wanted to model, but she wanted to sing. She wanted to be an entertainer. And so we all had dreams to meet Diddy. So then fast forward, Anthony ends up getting called to audition for Diddy for the Sean John campaign. So he never invites me along to his auditions or his go-sees, but this particular day he invited me because he knew I was a fan. Like, he knew I was gonna be mad he went to the damn thing and you didn't take me, you know what I mean? Because I you know, wanted to meet people and stuff. I was already a dancer, I was already moving and shaking, I already had a gang of athletes and whatever, but the music industry, because I rap and sing, that's where I wanted to get into. So long story short, we sitting in the waiting room, and one of his homeboys that frequents our apartment comes out of the thing, and he's looking mellow mad, like, shh. And so low key, me and Anthony laughing. We like, he must not have booked it. Like, he's salty. Like, we laughing to each other, like, you know. And then they called him, and then when they called him, I'm like, yeah, you got this, my nigga. Like, you know, I'm dapping on you. And then that's when 2A Pages was out. So when they called, I flipped my 2A up. So I'm on my 2A lining up some money for later on. All of a sudden, I just hear, man, fuck that. And the door had flew up, and it was, I'm like, what? And like, Anthony is a very good looking guy. His mother is, you know, African-American Black lady, and his father is an Italian man. And actually the wine, Gallo wine, that's his family. And allegedly his dad got like basically shunned from his family for choosing up on a Black woman. And he went on to have a few kids, and all of them are boys, and they're all very good looking guys. But his dad chose to be poor to follow his heart and be with a Black woman. So and so allegedly, his dad still to this day rides a bike in Northern California. He's from Northern California. He had moved down to LA. And so even though he was a good looking guy mixed with black and Italian, he wasn't no punk. Like it wasn't no gay in him, it wasn't no, bitch in him. Like he had like a thug, but he a pretty boy. So like I guess they underestimated him, thinking that because he was so good looking that he go that way. So he was more than offended. He was on some gangster shit. Like he got me fucked up. So when we were in the elevator, I was like, man, what happened? He was like, man, he gave me that look like, man, shut the. And I was like, all right, because it was people in the elevator. So I was like, all right.
No.
So when we got, out the elevator, I'm like, what's up? I'm like, why are you tripping? He was like, man, nigga asked me to suck his dick. I said, who asked you to suck his dick? He said, Puffy. We was calling Puffy back then. Puff.
Who was that man?
I said, no, he didn't. And it broke my heart, broke an arm. And I was like, nah. And he was like, he asked me to suck his dick. I was like, oh. I was like, well, then I see why, you know what I mean? For sure. Like, it's a wrap. That he's like, I don't need that job that fucking bad. Right. So I was like, for sure. You know what I mean? We got in the cab. We went back to our apartment. His homeboy ended up coming through. We smoked blunts. We laughed at it. We was like, that, you know what I mean? But then because I was a dancer, I'm also in the regular go-go club scene. And I ran into Tamiko Thomas, who ended up being, I call it handler, one of Diddy's handlers, wranglers. And she approached me with opportunity to help me and Anthony out. If I dance at Diddy's white parties, Anthony can go ahead and book the campaign. I agreed to dance at the white parties. Anthony booked the Sean John campaign. He was everywhere. He was on billboards, buses, bus stops, cabs, in the magazine, all at the same damn time. He was everywhere. But right now, if you go and try to Google any one picture of that Sean John campaign, Diddy done scrubbed it all. You can't even hardly find a picture.
Now, did Diddy remember him whenever he eventually got that gig? Was he like, oh yeah, I remember you?
Yeah, because when he booked it, after they had like a lounge party where it was like a celebration, like, hey, the new campaign, let's all, and it was a very small lounge, like only the models was there, the creative director, the photographer, Diddy, a couple other people, and that's it. And so you went over it. So it was kind of like, thank you for letting your girl work my parties. You know what I mean? You came out great, my nigga. He didn't say my nigga. He said, what did he say? You came out great, my guy. You're killing it, baby. You killing it. You know what I mean? So he basically tried to like go over the fact that he had asked him to suck his, because he tried him and he didn't fall for it. So he felt stupid. He didn't know he was that thug,
So what was your reaction to that? I know, both of you guys were upset, but were you thinking like, damn, ain't no Diddy was like this? Were you guys shocked?
I had been an ex, porn star, and I was currently an exotic dancer. For me, it was regular scheduled programming. Like, this is what rich people with money do. Like, he tried it. He wanted to see, you know what I mean? To me, it was more funny, but Anthony took more offense. Like, no, like, he got me fucked up. So I had let it go. I was over it. When they asked me to work the parties, I was like, hell yeah, I would have did that shit damn near for free. You know what I mean? Just for the networking. I was a groupie at that point. And I didn't realize how pretty I was. I didn't realize they looked at me like that. And I extra didn't know that Diddy had gotten word of my former career in the adult entertainment industry that I was manipulated into by an ex-boyfriend that I only did for 6 months out of my life, that I wasn't trying. I didn't have aspirations to be a P-star, none of that. I got manipulated into it so somebody could basically get my residuals and be basically caking off of me the last 20 plus years. I was very sheltered, naive. My parents were from LA, and so they raised me in the suburbs because they didn't want me to experience anything they saw growing up in the hood. And so when I went to Long Beach State and they put me in the co-ed dorms, to the left were the athletes and to the right were the girls who were stripping to get through school, because they were all from LA, Compton, and Long Beach. I'm from Chino, California, a little nerdy girl with valedictorian. So when they were stripping to get through college, I kicked it with them. And that's how I ended up with Jake Steed. He saw the innocence and naiveness in me. He got me to do their movies. And then when Diddy found out about it, they used that against me. And then he viewed me as somebody that was sexually exploited, worthy. And and he played on my heart. It's called coercion of the heart. When I told him that I rap and I sang, and he said I was dope. And he said he was going to bring me and I had a girl group out. Like, I'm the Beyonce of my group. They even told you that I was the dopest one. And it's called Coercion of the Heart. And he played on the fact that he knew I liked to rap, sing, and perform. And that's why he would bring me back year after year saying, you getting...
it's hard, in my opinion, not to believe every word she's saying, because although anybody could tell a story, tell a lie, whatever. What is happening with this wig today? I don't know, y'all. It's my $25 wig. Anyway, I feel like when sometimes I can tell when people are lying. I feel like I'm pretty good at gauging that, but it just feels like everything she's saying is just like rolling off her tongue, like it's from a real memory. I don't know if I believe everything she's saying, but up till now in the video, I do believe everything she's saying. It all sounds believable to me. But anyway, let's keep going. Please hit the like button, guys.
Closer, like initiation, you're getting closer. But it never happened. But he kept making me, sexually perform while he was wheeling and dealing, and getting jewelry from Jacob the jeweler, cutting a deal with this person, recording me and him over there so he can extort that person out of woo. We all didn't know, but he had a plan the whole time, and that's why he made people sign NDAs that said you can't talk about what we went through until 20 years after I died. But I never signed that. Aubrey O'Day and Danity Kane and them, they got hit with that. I was already out the game. I was done from 2004 to 2009. By the time he was running around with them, I was already, on the way out.
So if I understand correctly, so basically he had you setting up people, man. Some of his high profile people, he had you go over there so he can get video of certain.
No, he wouldn't say go over there so I can get video. He would hire me to work as a go-go dancer. They had 3 stages, positioned throughout his mansion. It was where he lived. It was his residence. It wasn't a club. It wasn't a lounge. And so it just makeshift stages, 3 stages set up in his house, like for us to be checkpoints. Like my stage was over by the bar. Tamiko's stage was over by the food. Old girl's checkpoint was over there by the rooms if you wanted to go do something. So it's like, I think he kind of told the guests, hey, if you want to drink, look for, just look for a stage and you're going to find something you need. You know what I mean? So we were elevated above the crowd. And so, but that we were instructed to only drink from certain liquor bottles. It's the girls' champagne, it's the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the guys' champagne. Girls don't drink the boys' champagne. And all the champagne was laced with ketamine, like horse tranquilizer, ecstasy. That's not allegedly. We were all doped up. And to this day, I believe we all, and I know I do, have a chemical imbalance. Like whenever I drink anything, it could be 1 glass of wine, all of a sudden I'm a stripper, I'm a P-star. Like my mind, I just black out and I'm that. I'm She Diddy. Oh, wow. Orlando Brown running around like I'm Puff. He not really act like it to everybody else. Everybody looking like he want attention, like he wilding, like. But it's something about when he drugged you that he stood over you, like infusing himself into you while you laid there unconscious, and it's like it became a part of you. Because after a certain amount, they started calling me She Diddy. They're like, man, she act like Diddy. She just like Diddy. And hence, I've been She Diddy for the last 20 years. So I feel Orlando when he be like, man, I'm Puff. Nice to meet you, I'm Puff. Because when we get faded, like, it's like he come out in us, like, and that's forever. That's why it's haunting us to this day.
How do you think he was able to, but besides all the things you guys were laced with, you think he put maybe his DNA or something kind of strange into that concoction?
Yeah, the reason why he like to take, we have a chakra in our anus, guys and girls, and your chakra is a pathway to your soul. So because he's working for Lucifer, his goal is to take souls to hell. So that's why straight men, he wanted to turn them gay. Even if a gay man was gay, he wanted to make him be a pedophile and be with a minor. His thing was to take the soul. So that's why after a certain amount of time, he would make an announcement like, you better go on home because, the party really about to crack now. And all of a sudden, everybody's demon would come out. And that's on God. Like, have you ever gotten like so faded or drunk where your body is doing stuff, but in the morning you have literally no recollection? Like if it ain't from your homeboy showing you it, like, man, I recorded you, nigga. If it wasn't for him showing you, you would swear up and down you didn't do that shit. But then when he show you the video, you're like, what the? I jumped in the pool. I don't even know how to swim, my nigga. What? Like, I don't even remember.
This is why what she's describing, I would see, like I said, I ain't never done a drug in my life. That ain't my ministry. I just have never done that. I'm not a girl that drinks. I try. It doesn't really work for me. But my point is, when you're doing things that you can't recall later, that's a problem. And I'm gonna give y'all a little snippet of my story. So I think I was telling y'all about how my house got on fire. I had taken Ambien. I took too much of the Ambien. This was about 2.5 months ago. And my husband was in the Philippines on a work trip. And I was like, oh, I hadn't slept in like 2.5 days because I had some health problems. And I think the pills or the medicine they were trying to figure out what was going on gave me insomnia. That's just my opinion. So my doctor prescribed me Ambien. And I was like, hadn't slept in 2.5 days because I'm really one of those people like, I don't want to take the medicine. I'm like that. But then I was just like, I got to take it, because I can't go to sleep. And I took 2 and I wasn't supposed to. I was only supposed to take a half of an Ambien, but I took 2 and turned on the oil to cook the French fries and walked my dog. And I walked my dog and came back in the house and went directly to sleep. And I heard a beeping sound, which it's a long story, but the beeping was this backup battery because in Houston we have been having these storms, these hurricanes, which was knocking out the power. And so the day my husband was leaving, I was taking him to the airport. The backup battery was beeping. It does that. It beeps. It lets you know if power is out, you only have so much time to, save whatever it is that, is connected to the battery. And it wasn't the backup battery. It was my fire alarm going off in the kitchen because I was about to get back in the bed and something said, open the door. Like, it just gives me chills every single time. Something said, open the door. And my whole house was full of smoke. It was completely black. And the only light I saw was the orange from the fire in the kitchen. And this is 2 months ago. It's traumatic. I didn't die. Obviously, I'm here talking to you guys. But what I'm saying is, from what she's saying, when she's like, oh, you saw the demons come out and this, that, and the third, I don't remember none of that. She's saying we were given these drugs, allegedly, in our drinks or however they were administering the ketamine and the whatever it was that they were giving these people that they couldn't remember their life. I remember my husband videotaping me like 2 weeks or 3 weeks after the fire because I took Ambien and I didn't know I took it. I probably got sleepy, took the Ambien, completely forgot I didn't even know I took it because later on he was filming me and he was trying to tell me, he was asking me questions and I thought he was like trying to like, I don't know. I felt like he was being condescending, and I thought what I was saying to him was clear, and it was not. And I'm glad he videoed me because after that, I was like, oh, I'm never taking Ambien again. I don't care if it's a habit. I'm never doing that because there are things that I don't even remember that he showed me on the video. I'm like, oh my God. Now, obviously, I wasn't doing anything that she said they were into because I'm in the house, but people have driven. It's basically like sleepwalking. That's what I call it because I remember parts of it. Like I put like a spoon in a toaster. I only had on, my husband showed me this on the video, but I only had on, like, for the ladies, y'all know those like tankinis, you like kind of like wear them under like your cardigan when you go to work. I had one of those on. That's it. I told my husband I had walked around the house 5 times. Like I was like, yeah, no, she's not taking Ambien again. Like under no circumstances. Listen, I'm glad he had me on video because even though I remembered some of it, if I would have thought he was exaggerating. But listen, it's on the film, so I can't say I didn't do it. And I wasn't doing anything wrong, but can you imagine? I done walked outside. At least that's what I told him, that I walked outside and I didn't have on nothing but a tankini, so I had no other clothes on. What if I'd have gotten in the car? That's why I say God saved me. And I told this story to this one lady because, our house is getting repaired. And I was talking to her about it. And she was like, because I was like, God woke me up. He saved my life. And she was like, this is what her opinion was. She was like, God gave you that Ambien. He wanted you to hear him. Girl, listen, I got chill bumps when she said that. I was like, because she was like, there's so much noise going on. He wanted you to hear him. Because in any other day, All the other times when my husband would give me like a half of Ambien or whatever, I would sleep for 10 hours. So 2 Ambien, out of there, like out of there. And I wonder what are all the things I did that my husband was in Thailand, or not Thailand, the Philippines, and I don't remember. Like I remember my husband, and this is one last thing. He kept trying to get me to go to bed, and so I finally acquiesced to go to bed or whatever. But he was like, "Where are the pills? Where are the pills?" And I'm like, whatever. But in my mind, I'm thinking he's trying to tell me I took more pills than I was supposed to take or something. And I was sleepwalking. I thought that I was talking to this man, and I thought everything I was saying was normal. It was not. It is what they call disorganized speech. Someone who is gone and they think that what they're saying makes sense and it doesn't. That's what happened to me. And I remember when I was getting in the bed, I was telling him all kinds of weird stuff. And then I started looking for my iPad for some reason. And when I moved the cover, all the pills, because I know my husband thought, did she take all these? They're like, where are the pills? And the pills are in the bed. And I had some of those, they have those melatonin, like little gummy things, because I would take that instead of the Ambien, right? They were lined up under the things I do not remember. I just do not remember them at all. So thank God he took a video of it. So what she's saying obviously was way worse than what, Ambien did to me. But in my mind, I shouldn't be alive. Because if half of Ambien had me under the bed telling my husband, where are the frosted flakes? No, what was I telling him? Where are the Fruit Loops with marshmallow? Crazy. Okay. And him trying to tell me we have frosted flakes. No, ninja. Did I say I wanted frosted flakes? I didn't. So why are you asking me? If I say I want shrimp, why are you asking me about chicken? Just saying. No, but so that's why I'm like, I understand what she's saying in terms of if you're doing something that this is a prescribed medicine that my doctor gave me. You know what I'm saying? That had me wackadoo. So I can't imagine if you're given ketamine, which my understanding is some sort of tranquilizer or something to where it's for horses or large animals. Just probably not made for humans. I'm just saying. So whatever that is, and I don't know where you would even get that from. Anyway, I can understand how she may not remember everything, but she remembers some things, because sometimes people will say, well, if they don't remember, she said it was this time and this that time. Yeah, I remember some of the stuff my husband told me I was doing, but I did not remember all of it. But to see it in, on film, it's like, yeah, I can say I know I did it. I wasn't doing anything bad, but my point is, can you imagine how someone could take advantage of you? This one lady in California years ago, she took Ambien and fell asleep, woke up. Well, she was sleepwalking like me, and got in her car and drove and bought a new car and came back home with her new car. This happened in California. And then when she woke up the next day, she was like, "Why? Whose car is this?" So if that can happen from something that is prescribed specifically for you from your doctor, what the hell is in whatever puppy was given them allegedly? So when people say they don't necessarily remember, but they do remember being assaulted, you can't count them out. Because if someone gives you something, and there are things that you do remember, because there were things I remembered. My husband was asking me, you remember watching Bentley? That's our dog. And I'm like, yeah, of course I remember. But it was from when? So in my mind, yeah, I watched him in my mind when he asked me that 2 days ago. So of course I remember watching Bentley. But what my husband filmed me doing is watching Bentley when I had on the Ambien sleepwalking. And I poured almost all of the dish soap, which I don't even use for him, really. Like that. He has like medicated, stuff because his skin is, whatever, itchy. I don't remember that, but I do remember watching the dog. So that's why I say when people are just like, no, she lying. No, he just want clout. He just want money. They could have left all this, that, and the third. Once someone has taken your mind, right? Because when people, okay, so I'll use Kanye West. You know how Kanye West has stated publicly he's bipolar, right? And one of the medications you might get prescribed to you is lithium. I know this because I'm a therapist, but you may get prescribed that. It is one, but the medication they are giving you to help you with whatever your mental health. I don't want to say mental illness, but that's what it is. To cope with, to manage it. It's a mental restraint. It's restraining you from doing what your mind wants to do. So when you hear people that have, and I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a therapist, but when you hear people say things like I'm using Kanye for example, when he's like, I want to do this, but I can't. I don't, or they may say something, I don't feel like myself. That is because they're being mentally restrained by the medication. So when they go off of it, a lot of times, that's when they feel their best. And to the rest of us, we know something is not right here. You know what I'm saying? But there's criteria. So people just saying, oh, this person is bipolar. It's not a depressed mood. A depressed mood is, I lost my job. I won't even go there because that could turn into depression. A depressed mood might be, you wasn't having a great day and you came home and your husband said he was going to cook and then he didn't. And now you got to do it. That might put you in a depressed mood because you already had a bad day or whatever. That's different from depression. Depression, you got to have criteria. But I'm not going to even get into all of that. But I'm saying that to say, be careful when you are judging why someone stayed. Because if they have your mind first, which I think is what happened with Cassie, this young lady has this dream of being whatever, and then you have this guy who to the rest of the world looks like the guy you want to know. And then he slips something into your drink and you don't even realize it. Now he got you on tape. Allegedly. This is what I think. For those of you guys that think it's a conspiracy theory, I'm not sure if it is. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but a lot of people have brought up Clive Davis. And I'll say this one last thing and then we'll get back to the video. But I think that's what Clive Davis told Diddy. Do all the reckless shit you want to do. Just get it on tape. Get everybody who you think might be able to sue you, say something poor about you, whatever it is, get them on tape. And they're never going to, they're because nobody wants, like this young lady said, she came home and her pastor or her pastor's friend, whomever, brought her tape from when she was a Peace Star. And her parents put it on the flat screen TV. And so when she walked in the door, she sees they have her there with a stick in her mouth. Why would you do that to your child? That to me, why? I don't understand it. You have a conversation with your child, but that is not the way you do it, in my opinion. But my point is, so now I have this over your head. This is what I think the reason is for why all of the entertainment industry, music, film, television, whatever you want to call it, they've been on mute. They've all muted themselves. Nobody has anything to say except what's his name? 50 Cent. Stop me when I'm lying about something. And now Ray J. We're not even going to get into Ray J because, Lord, I can't with Ray J. But like I said, hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you like the content that you are receiving. We're going to get right back to it. 1 second.
That bitch, like, what? It was like that.
That's that blackout drink, and
right,
you don't
but he
remember
had
anything.
imagine everybody blacked out though. It doesn't matter if you a celebrity or that's why J-Lo left the country. He had her sticking bottles and stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old. She the girl that they put on the private jet. They her with the jelly beans. They put on the private jet. They took her to the studio in New York and then had the nerve to dress her up in a D&G sweater, do her hair, put makeup on her, and take a picture like a trophy. She only 11 years old in that picture, and that's not allegedly.
Woo!
3 head shaving tips that you're probably messing up. Tip number 1, avoid using razors on your head. Razors.
Listen.
And then the same.
This Miss English, Andria English, she got all the smoke. I don't know how she's able to do this because it seems as though P. Diddy and the rest of them, all of them, have been able. I don't even understand, how do you keep this type of ish silent? Like, it has to be what I think it is, which is Clive Davis told Diddy, or maybe Diddy. Now I don't want to let Diddy off because he ain't off, but maybe he thought of it. I don't know, but it definitely worked for 30 years plus, and now the chickens are coming home to roost.
Girl
J-Lo was messing around with.
Man, there's so many. I drop names on the
Hold
net, man.
on.
On the we talking about that bitch. Like what? It was like that.
That's that blackout drinking where you
Right,
don't
but he
remember
had
anything.
imagine everybody blacked out though. It doesn't matter if you a celebrity or that's why J-Lo left the country. He had her sticking bottles and stuff up in my homegirl. She was only 11 years old. She the girl that they put on the private jet. They dipped her with the jelly beans. They put on the private jet. They took her to the studio in New York and then had the nerve to dress her up in a D&G sweater, do her hair, put makeup on her, and take a picture like a trophy. She only 11 years old in that picture, and that's not allegedly. And then the same girl,
J-Lo was messing around with.
man, there's so many. I drop names on the net, man. On the we talking about Diddy right now.
I just wanted to say everything that's on Chanel's reality is allegedly. Is alleged and it's for entertainment purposes only. And it's in my opinion, if I say something about it. The picture that they just showed of the young lady who was underage, I don't know that young lady was 11. She definitely doesn't look 11, but I can say this. There was a young girl that lived with us when I was much, much younger. I was probably like 16, 17, but she was 10. And she was taller than me, and I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'1", if that. And she definitely had boobs. She was 10. She had boobs and just shaped like an hourglass. Very she looked older than her age. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't know where you guys are located, but here in Houston, when I was 16, sometimes we rode Metro, which is like the city bus. And when you get on Metro, you have to, at the time, you would have to like put your little card in or put your money in or whatever it was. But if you were under a certain age, instead of having to pay, let's say my fare at 16 was $1.50, let's say hypothetically, her fare maybe at 10 and under was maybe like 50 cents or a quarter, right? And I remember every time we would get on the bus and I'd be like, no, she's 10 or whatever it was, they wouldn't believe me. And I knew that they wouldn't probably believe me because she looked at least 14. But I'm only saying that because the young lady that she's saying they put the Dolce & Gabbana sweater on. First of all, she didn't have on a sweater. She had on a like looked like a tank top in the video that they showed in that photo. And I'm not saying that's not the same girl because, like I said, if you own that stuff, you might not remember what you saw, but you remember parts of it. And I think that's maybe what she's saying. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying she's lying. I don't think she's lying. All I'm saying is that girl looks much older than 11. That's it. That's all.
But it's yeah. And then that's the same girl that in the magazine is laying on the table butt naked with fruit and food and stuff off of her, and we all eating off of her. I sucked the strawberry off her. She 14 years old laying on that table. She had a body like a grown woman. You don't think anybody's looking at that thinking that's a kid laying there. You're assuming it's a grown woman. So he made everybody be with a minor, against your will, and he recording the shit. Yeah. Same girl needed to do a number 2 on stage. She performed and she told him, I need to go off stage. I need you to bathroom. He told her no. She ended up shit on stage. It was a went everywhere. And Denzel Washington grabbed up his wife, mobbed up to Diddy, and was like, man, you don't respect nobody. And had to run up out there. That's the incident they're talking about with Denzel Washington had to run up out of there.
So that's why Denzel and his wife left that party because of that incident.
She shit on stage, and she was only 14 years. He didn't know she was 14. It was just the fact that she shit on stage and in front of everybody. And then Diddy took her to a room and beat her ass because she shit on stage. Then he would only give her water baths and not let her wash with soap. I'm gonna say allegedly because she's still Jane Doe right now. I'm gonna say allegedly. You know what I mean? It's allegedly. But she wants a DNA on 2 of his kids because they took 2 babies out of her. They kept her locked up and they had her babies at the house. 2 babies they took out of her stomach. That's not allegedly.
Damn.
And allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, she had a 3 with Diddy and his own mama / auntie, and she had a 3 with Nelly and Diddy. Woo! That's not alleged.
No.
Allegedly.
Please.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Oof. Child. Did she just say? Mm. That's what you call humiliation. Because why you want to let this girl go to the restroom? That's what I always say. Sex abuse, sexual assault, whatever you want to call it, right? It's never about sex. It's always about power and control. Diddy held power because what person would tell someone they're not allowed to get off the stage to go use the restroom? Like, it's a natural bodily event that everybody has. So why would you take that right from that person? And she clearly was either so out of it or so scared that she decided it was in her best interest to do that on the stage. Allegedly, if any of this is true. I don't know this lady. I don't know her from a can of paint. And I wasn't there, so I don't know. But how humiliating is that? How disgusting is that? Why would you even? Anyways, that's why, listen, this type of stuff, this is why him and his lawyers and all of those people, that's why I don't care about them. Like, oh, well, he's in such a bad prison. I don't give a shit. And look at what he put these people through. I believe all of it. It ain't changing over here. I'm that person with this type of thing. I've worked with sex crimes my whole adult life. So I believe all of it. And I understand that some people may not be telling you the whole truth or whatever the case may be. But we're not going to, over here in Chanel's reality, we're going to use statistics. So 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. So wherever you are listening to me on Chanel's reality, count the people in your house, count the people at your job where you work. Count the females you deal with every day. 1 of the 4 of y'all have been sexually assaulted or will be in your lifetime. It's 25 people watching this allegedly. 1 in 4. I know I've been. Me too, whatever you want to call it. And that's why I say I listen, I've been to this part of the zoo. I know exactly how these animals act. I'm not saying that type of stuff, what she's talking about happened to me. I'm not saying that, but it doesn't matter. Assault is assault, and trauma is trauma. And don't let anyone try to tell you you need to move on and whatever else. It's your trauma. Can't nobody tell you what the hell to do with your trauma. And a therapist is only here to listen and help you, provide you with coping skills without judgment. That's essentially, in confidentiality, that's the purpose of a therapist. And I'm a therapist. That's all I'm saying. But don't let people tell you that, because they love to tell you, oh, you sure you remember the way you remember? Like, fuck out of here. You remember that from 30 years ago? Yes, I do. Why you didn't tell nobody? Because I was ashamed. Because of the same shit that people have done to Cassie and all the other women of all the hundreds and thousands of years. That's why. And because people are going to tell you you're lying. So think about it. Diddy's crazy, and we all know at this point he's crazy. But there are still people with people like Diddy and their family that they still inviting them to the barbecue. They coming to Thanksgiving. They coming to Christmas. How do you do that? How do you choose the perpetrator over your child? I know a lot of people like that in my line of work. I remember this one lady years ago. So your boyfriend broke your child's arm and you still trying to work it out? I had to learn. That's where you go to school for my degree. You have to learn that, listen, people have the right to self-determine. It is not my job or my business to tell you that you need to change your life and this is what you need to do, this, that, and the third. That is not the job of a therapist. It isn't. My job is to help you, first of all, listen, keep your whatever needs to be kept confidential. And not everything can be kept confidential. So if you're abusing a child, that's not going to be kept confidential, or the elderly, or someone who's mentally ill. That's not going to be confidential. And if you plan to hurt someone or yourself, that's not going to be confidential. But everything else you can talk about. Even if someone did something to, say you were molested as a child and now you're in therapy at 21 and you're saying this person did this to me. That's, at least in the state of Texas, that's one of the ones that we don't have to we're not, what's the right word? So in general, we're mandated reporters. So a nurse, a teacher, a therapist, there's a line of us. We're mandatory. We have to tell someone. We have to report it. But if someone comes to me and they're 22 years old and they say to me at 19, and they say, I don't want to talk about it, meaning I don't want to tell the police, I don't want to tell anyone, by law, we can't say anything. That person would have to still be doing something to another person. Then we could report it, but it's just a report and an investigation. But anyways, so I brought that up to basically say, when she's saying, you know, they put a Dolce & Gabbana shirt on her and all this, a sweater or whatever, some of the details she could get wrong, but that doesn't mean what she's saying is not accurate or true. But do with it what you please, because I know there's going to be people saying she lying. Okay.
A room and beat her ass because she don't say, didn't even only give her water baths and not let her wash with soap. I'm gonna say allegedly because she's still Jane Doe right now. I'm gonna say allegedly. You know what I mean? It's allegedly, but she wants a DNA on 2 of his kids because they took 2 babies out of her. They kept her locked up and they had her babies at the house. The 2 babies they took out of her stomach. That's not allegedly.
Damn.
And allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, she had a 3 with Diddy and his own mama / auntie. And she had a 3 with Nelly and Diddy. That's not alleged.
No.
Allegedly. Sorry, Ashanti. I love you, Ashanti. Congratulations on the ability. I love y'all together. It was 20 years ago.
I'm not playing with her. Talking about I love you, Ashanti. So Queen of Growth and Support says, I'm a survivor of trauma. We all are. Everybody has trauma. Nobody has a perfect life. So your trauma, and you can't measure it, right? Your trauma isn't better or worse than mine. Trauma is, I got beat as a kid. I also was essayed as an adult. I was bullied. I was told I was ugly. My mom passed away. I failed the 3rd grade, whatever. It's all traumatic. All of it's trauma. I always tell people, everybody got a trauma center in their head. You just have to, the thing with, this is just my opinion, but how I view forgiveness. And I'm not nobody's pastor and I'm not y'all's therapist, but the way I view forgiveness is, it is giving up. Basically, it's releasing yourself from the burden of anger, right? Because if someone has done something and it's super traumatic, right? And it made you angry, like what happened to Cassie or whatever, or this young lady or whomever, people in the chat, whatever. You have to release yourself from that anger. You have to figure out, how do I want to respond to this trauma? Whatever that trauma might be. Maybe it's you're overweight and other people make fun of you, or, you know, you don't have the girlfriend that you want. Whatever your trauma is, you didn't get picked for the team. It's all trauma. But just have to figure out how you want that trauma what you want your response to be. So do you want your response to be, I'm crying every time I relive this trauma, every time I get triggered? Or do I want to say, you know what, my mom wasn't the best mom, but the memories that we had that were good, those are the ones I'm going to focus on. It's up to you. Nobody can tell you what to do. And then 772% cupcakes. Listen, I love a cupcake. In fact, I might go get one, girl. Look, I'm hungry. She says, Compton in the house. Hey, Compton. All right, guys, let's go back to the video.
Don't get mad at 20. We talking about 20 years ago. Don't get emotional. We just telling our truth. People, please don't get mad. It's some of y'all's favorites. It's gonna kill y'all. It's gonna devastate y'all when you hear the names involved, because we all grew up on these people. We all love these people. We'd have never thought these people would have been involved in the things that they're involved in. We're just telling our truths, everybody, and it was 20 years ago. So please don't judge us or say we lying. We're being nice enough to let y'all know what's going on from an insider point of view. If you were not even there, don't tell somebody they lying when you weren't even there.
Big facts. And fans love to say, you know, that people are capping or people are just coming up with stories. Now, hold on. Before we move forward, I'm still stuck on, you said Diddy and his mom and his auntie.
Right.
No, Diddy's mom is really his auntie, has been claiming to be his mom this whole time. She's the one with the white nails. That's why he has that fetish. She been him since he was adolescent because his daddy got killed when he was a baby. As soon as he had adolescent, he resembled his dad. So she started him. She's the one that picked his head up initially. That's why, allegedly. I might be talking too much.
Nah, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
The money in your bank account could be earning a lot more interest than it's earning right now. Thursday morning at 6:30, the top banks offering the highest interest rates. See why some banks are able to offer you more money than others. Thursday morning at 6:30.
Oh my God.
Yay, I just love wellness.
Yeah.
Getting your daily dose of nutrients doesn't have to be messy.
Yeah, we loving this. We loving
I don't know how
this.
she haven't caught a case.
Yeah, but allegedly that's why he took Kim Porter out, because he has sex with his daughters, allegedly.
Jesus. Listen, what sis is saying, let me just put up, I didn't put it up initially. Trigger warning. This is a lot of trauma she's talking about. But she said this lady is not P. Diddy's mama. She is the grandma. I'm no, hold on, wait. The auntie? Oh Lord Jesus Christ. Now she's saying that. Whew, let's just go back.
Or I'm still stuck on, you said Diddy and his mom and his auntie,
No, Diddy's mom is really his auntie, has been claiming to be his mom this whole time. She's the one with the white nails. That's why he has that fetish. She's been picking him since he was adolescent because his daddy got killed when he was a baby. As soon as he had adolescent, he resembled his dad. So she started picking him. She's the one that picked his head up initially. That's why, allegedly. I might be talking too much.
Nah, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We loving this. We loving this.
Yeah, but allegedly that's why he took Kim Porter out, because he has sex with his daughters, allegedly. The twins. The whole family has sex. The same girl I was telling you about, that the Jane Doe, the 11 and 14-year-olds, the same girl he made strap Justin Bieber down, and she had to strap him down while Diddy and two of his sons took turns, and she had to sit there and watch, and Justin Bieber was crying and begging to be let up, and when she went to unloosen him, Diddy socked her in the face in front of Justin Bieber. So we trying to get with Justin because he would corroborate, allegedly. Justin, get at me, Justin. We be confidential. We ain't got to tell the press, nobody. Holler at me, Justin. I'll put y'all together. She was there, you was there. I was already out of it. She told me that story, but Justin, I got you.
Yeah. Also, you saying Diddy and Nelly was in bed together?
He's had a threesome with Diddy and Nelly. Yes, the same Jane Doe. This Jane Doe was around from 11 years old to about 15 years old. Had bore 2 kids. I'm not going to say which one she believe are hers that he's been raising. You know what? On a side note, where is the white girl? Where's the white girl that he adopted?
I got asked about that today earlier in the interview. I think her name is Ava Plum.
Where is she? They said, the twins are staying with one of Kamara's friends, or Kim Porter, whoever. The son's been in New York and back and forth to LA. Where's the white girl that they was online bragging and proud that they saved her life and everything? Where is the white girl?
She disappeared.
Ava. Where's Ava? I won't call her the white girl. Shout out to my white people.
Exactly.
My mom's half white. I love white people. I'm white. It's white in me. Where's Ava? Everybody, can we do a campaign? Everybody, hashtag Where's Ava?
Where's Ava? We need to get some shirts made too.
Right. Where's Ava? Mask, all that. Booty shorts. We can twerk to it. All
Girl,
that.
stop.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta save her.
Man.
That's to be continued.
Boy, you done gave us some jaw-dropping information so far, man. This is whoa.
Like Black Rob. Shout out to Black Rob. Whoa.
Now tell us a little bit about how he ended up putting you with Jacob the Jeweler, and tell us how that Jacob the Jeweler story went down.
So the first party I did, it was above board, it was on network. Excuse me, I saw everybody. I was there front line, like, I was calling back home to the Cali people, like, hey, you'll never believe this, like, for real, like, and then next party, it was like, yeah, you want to rap, you want to sing, right? You dance at the club, right? He started out like he was pointing me in the right direction. Because, everybody's been to the strip club. And every girl that's been a stripper knows you love the guys that come in, and if they're not the ones spending money, they point you to their homeboy that is. Have you ever seen a bachelor party come in and they be like, it's not me, but get him. He's the one paying for everybody. So it was kind of like he did that. Like he took the mindset that I had of being a dancer of like, while you at my parties, I'm going to point you in the right direction. You take care of them and I'm going to put you on. That's how I understood it. Coercion of the heart. And because I wanted to be on so bad and he was actually real, Puffy. It wasn't like it was Puffy's assistant. It was like real Puffy saying it. I believed it. And I'm like, I had already been manipulated by Jake Steed and did, movies that got me nowhere. I was dancing at Larry Friend's Hustler Club only because me and Anthony Gallo had got robbed for everything. And it was go back to Cali, broke with everybody laughing, or you start dancing. That's how I ended up starting to dance.
Want to get blessed?
What? I'm dancing. We have a nice lifestyle. We got a doorman building, you know what I mean? But Diddy said, I just got to basically do the same thing I've already done that's got me nowhere and it's going to get me somewhere. Coercion of the heart. I was with it. But then as he kept adding on, so that night I was asked to wear a black dress at a white party, but I didn't think nothing of it. Like he always supplied the uniform. That's another thing. In the Vibe magazine, let me go back to Vibe magazine real quick. I never signed a release. I wasn't paid anything. I didn't even know anybody laughing or you start dancing. That's how I ended up starting to dance. I'm dancing. We have a nice lifestyle. We got a doorman building, you know what I mean? But Diddy said, I just got to basically do the same thing I've already done that's got me nowhere and it's going to get me somewhere. Coercion of the heart. I was with it. But then as he kept adding on, so that night I was asked to wear a black dress at a white party, but I didn't think nothing of it. Like he always supplied the uniform. That's another thing. In the Vibe magazine, let me go back to Vibe magazine real quick. I never signed a release. I wasn't paid anything. I didn't even know I was going to be in Vibe magazine. I woke up to Anthony getting a phone call from one of his model homeboys. Like, hey, your girl in Vibe magazine, because back then, when a new story or a new campaign came out, it was on the newsstand and everybody went out to get it. It was the East Coast thing, because in Cali, we didn't do shit like that. Nobody rushed out to get the latest magazine, but in New York, they did that shit. So we had just had sex the night before, so we laying in the bed naked, and I wake up to him smushing my head in the pillow, like, what the fuck you doing in Vibe magazine? I'm like, what? I'm in Vibe magazine, like, what? He was like, yeah, Nelly just called. That's his homeboy Zanell. Shout out to Zanell. He went on doing a lot of stuff with Diddy, Zanell, Figueroa, I don't know. Yeah. But he's like, yeah. So I'm like, what? He's like, so we got jumped up, put our clothes on, doorman opened up the door for us. Right there was a newsstand. Diddy's on the cover on the boxing gym, you know what I mean? Gloves or whatever. We open up, flip through it, and there I am. That picture that you see, big as day. I had no idea. That picture was taken in 2004. They didn't run the story to 2006. I had no idea that they put in there, Diddy supplied the clothing. Then they put the caption, guest strikes a revealing pose. I wasn't a guest. Who would I be a guest of? Who knew me? You know what I mean? Did Mary J. Blige say, come on, Sheree? And then if I am a guest, the audacity of me thinking I could just come in some little ass go-go shorts and a bikini top to somebody's exclusive white party with all kind of millionaires, and I'm a guest of who? But I'm their guest, and I'm gonna just show up like that, not a nice elegant gown or nothing. I'm gonna just show up all hoochie mama. Nah, I was on his event staff, but that's how they got away with putting me in there without trying to give me no employee credit, right? Mm-hmm. And then I found out later, another reason why they put me in the Vibe magazine, and so all the guys who wanted extras would know who to look for at the parties and to laugh at me because they took advantage of me after they drugged me and I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly, I'm not gonna say, someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a train on me, including certain people that are presidential. No, we're talking about Diddy. We're gonna come back to that, LB. Stay with me. We don't go any further till we get the result.
Man.
Hey, but anyway, once I found that out.
Oh, please. Hey, Carmen.
Hey, sister. Did you check your phone?
No.
You should probably check your phone. I messaged you.
Oh, I'm in the middle of a live, ma'am. How am I check my phone in the
Okay.
middle of that?
Well, you just put me on stage.
Do you have any commentary on this topic of this young lady?
I don't wanna discredit anything she's saying, but like I just me personally, um I would rather her speak more on like her experience versus on like the alleged from like versus being like a third party so much because the accusations that she's making is very serious.
Yeah. But she's
Like that.
saying from what I can tell, most of what she said, because I've been on her almost an hour now, and most of what
Right.
she
And
said,
even down to her saying like they ran a train on her, even some people like presidential, like speak on it, put them out there because the things that you know allegedly you're not holding back on. So let us know what you've experienced. Put it on the table.
but sometimes if you have because like she just said something about the feds.
She put Nelly on the table.
Well, hold on. She said the feds said, and then she backtracked and was like, someone said. So what I'm saying is, she might be in a situation where they have said, you can't speak on this, but you can't speak on that. And that might be why she hasn't said whatever. But I will say, I'm shocked. I'm like, she's like, and that's not. She's like, and that's not alleged. I'm like, "Ooh-wee." Child, I don't know, but she has like, this is the first video that I saw of her, and it was like she has like, I feel like she's
I
on there
don't know
maybe
her.
like.
Who is she?
Her name is Andria English, and she said it's a long story. I won't get into it on the live, but basically, she said she was hired to be a dancer, go-go girl at Diddy's parties, and she said she saw kinds of really grotesque, horrible, horrific things happening to other people that were underage and people that were drugged and wasn't aware of any of it. And I'm like, yo, she's crazy. Not the lady is crazy, but it's just like. She, to me, if you read the lawsuits talk about a lot of graphic things that she's saying, but people are not getting on to the internet saying all of that because it is very gruesome, and it's someone else's story. So I think it's better that she's saying what she saw because I'm intrigued, but I get what you're saying about like, if you weren't there to see it, or if you were there to see it, then say who it is. But you gotta think, well, she doesn't want a lawsuit, which it feels like she's telling everything anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like she giving, like she dropping shit, right? So drop the shit that you experienced. Drop that shit. Name drop. You name drop Nelly. That's a name I haven't heard.
I know. And then she on here talking about
Right.
Ashanti. I love y'all together. I was like,
Right. You name dropped Nelly.
I was watching something earlier today, and the lady, she was talking about it. There's this other YouTube channel called Soft Underbelly, and it talks about like this guy. He interviews a lot of sex workers and stuff like that. And a lady on there was talking about what happened and what she saw and things like that. Which, like I said, I believe them, but at the end of the day, that lady kept saying, "Oh, can I say it? I don't know if I can say that. Like, oh, I don't want to catch a lawsuit." Like, she ended up after she did that interview with him, getting on like major platforms, and then she was like, "What she was talking about?" She kept being like, allegedly, I'm scared. Like you could tell she's scared. And at the end of the day, if you count up the alleged bodies that Diddy has, she has every reason to be scared. But this lady, I don't know why she's not scared. But I get what you're saying. You're like, well, if you ain't scared, if you're really about it, then just say the names if you really about it. But I'm thinking,
Well, I'm not saying like if you're scared because clearly, listening to what she's saying, you ain't scared. I scared is out the window because somebody scared would not be saying since I've been on the live, what I've listened to her say. Somebody scared is not saying this with their face uncovered in the camera, seeing who they are. You know what I mean? That's not somebody scared.
That's a good point. But I'm not saying scared of Diddy. I'm not saying scared of the goons. I'm saying scared of the feds. What they may have told her. If she's talked to the feds. I don't know this lady. We don't know.
Right.
Like,
So the feds gonna have you on hush mouth, first off.
correct. But I'm saying they may have said to her, just like I'm certain they said to Cassie. Because think about it. If you think about it logically, Cassie put out a lawsuit. All of the states in the United States have a what is it called? Statute of limitation, right? For sex crimes.
Mm-hmm.
You have a certain amount of time, whatever state you're in, right? Why on earth would the Southern District of New York say all of the sudden out of nowhere that
They
we just
opened
gonna
it up.
open it up for the world, and everybody, if this happened to you in the state of New York or whatever, then you can come forth and say that. And then in that year that they allow that, Cassie drops this major lawsuit, which then sets a fire to everything that's going on right now. Why would you do that? And then they pay her off in a day or whatever the case may be. So to me, they did it because they already had whatever they needed. To me, it was already set.
Right. They did, and I'm gonna tell you from what I have ran across, even well over a month or two ago, the first person to go to the feds was allegedly Jamie Foxx.
You think so? I think Diddy tried to unalive that man, but go ahead.
Right, and he went to the feds because of what he knew. Because Jamie Foxx would frequent, man, Jamie Foxx was a frequent with Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
So something went wrong somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
Right?
Yeah.
And Jamie Foxx now that Diddy's locked up and they not letting him out and all of this is out, Jamie Foxx is finally now starting to speak and has a some type of documentary or something coming out and did state Diddy had a role to play in what happened to him.
Really?
I
Okay,
swear
now
to God.
I gotta go look at that.
I swear to God. And I remember how quiet they were about it whenever he was almost died. And they still never said exactly what happened to him.
That's what got me. Because I was like, I'm gonna let you finish, but what got me intrigued was I had never in my whole entire life seen PR always has something to give the press about whatever's going on when a celebrity is in the hospital, whatever's going on with them. They had a baby, they always have something to say. Nobody said nothing, not his mama, not his sister.
Nobody
said anything. And so I always thought in the back of my mind, that's weird. But then when
the same as now.
Right. But then when Al B. Shore came out and said, I was in a coma or whatever happened to Al B. Shore, that's when I was like, that's what made me think about
an apparent
Jamie Foxx. But go ahead. Hello? Okay, we'll come back to Carmen.
No, I'm still here. I had to mute my mic for a second.
Okay, you got something else to say? Because I'm going to go back to the video so I can go ahead.
Oh, no, just keep going. I just wasn't a fan of,
I get you. All right, let's finish.
I don't want to discredit her essay because, I never got essayed, but.
Well, I mean, it's your opinion.
It's just,
everybody have an opinion. I just don't like when people tell people.
No. Because I believe she's a victim. She coming out claiming to be a victim in the open, and she knows shit. Clearly, she knows shit. Like, I'm not stupid. We know when somebody knows something.
Yeah. I agree.
But okay, let's go.
But
Let me watch.
It's parts of it that I said earlier. I'm like, she's saying this girl in this picture with the Dolce & Gabbana is 11. I'm not saying the girl isn't 11, but I'm saying she doesn't look 11. And I don't know if you were listening earlier when I was giving the example of the one person that we both know that's tall and dark skinned and all that we know, that looks much older than she was. And I was telling them about that earlier, but don't say any names because we don't say any names. We don't out nobody or nothing like that. But I know that could be true where someone looks 14, but they're only 10. Because most people be like, no, I know somebody at that time, that young lady looked like she was 14. And the reason I brought that up is because, back in the day, we could ride the bus for if you were younger, you could ride the bus for 25 cents or 50 cents. And so I had to tell the bus driver, no, she's young. And he looking at me sideways, yeah, right, going on. But so I know it can happen, but it's rare, I think. Well, I don't know. Nowadays, child, you don't know who is who. I'm just saying, but I believe Diddy knew. That's my opinion. Okay, so let's get back into it.
I've been living my life for the last 20 years not knowing that I was unconscious. The Fed said, well, allegedly, I'm not going to say, someone said that when they did the raid, I'm on them tapes and there's multiple A-list celebrities running a train on me, including certain
Whoa.
people that are presidential.
Presidential.
No, we're talking about Diddy. We're gonna come back to that, LB. Stay with me. We don't go any further till we get the result.
Man.
Okay, but anyway, once I found that out, I've been living my life for the last 20 years not knowing that had even happened to me. And now because they found out that I know that I'm on them tapes with them doing that to me, these are people that have smiled in my face since then. I had no idea that. But if there's a certain way the tape is going to come out, and there's a certain way that it never will. You gotta stay tuned.
Did that scare you? Like, were you scared when the feds advised you that, you know, there was some pretty high profile people doing some crazy things to you?
It angered me, actually, because, you know, I went in, you know, under the presumption that we were all working together to make the, you know, event hot. And I was doing my part as a hired entertainer to bring my West Coast vibes and to make, you know, the part. And I was always complimented. That's why I kept being invited back. When there was multiple, you know, girls all around the city, all around the tri-state, you know, you go up and down the East Coast, you can get a girl in from Boston, Connecticut, Jersey real quick. But they kept rehiring me because I made that shit hot. And I was, you know, I was genuine, I'm naive, and I was like a fan. And they played on it. I didn't realize how pretty I was. And they took advantage. And they, you know, he likes to steal your light. He's an energy vampire. He steals your light. He takes a piece of you, and then he infuses the devil's seed in you from him, and puts a little evil from him into you that you can never take out of you. It's like soul ties. I want to be hypnotized, actually. I want to be hypnotized, and I want y'all to tell me what I said and what I did while I was under.
Now, what you were telling me about Diddy, that kind of reminds me of that movie. I don't know if you ever seen it, Rosemary's Baby.
I never saw it. What happens in that?
Well, basically, this lady, man, this is back in the 60s. This is a really dope movie, though. But they move into this brand new apartment, and the husband's an actor. So in order for him to advance his career, he has to do demonic, satanic stuff in order to advance his career. Whoa. So one of the things he sacrificed was his wife, and he allowed these demons and devils to impregnate his wife, so that way she can have the devil's baby.
Jesus, what?
And that's what.
Using the right weight matters. The body pod.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. Like I said, guys, I put the link to this guy's video in the description, so you guys can go down there and check it out. The rest of the video, she says a lot of interesting things, a lot of very incriminating things that, like I said, I'm not sure what all I believe or don't believe, but the way she's talking, it doesn't seem like it's a setup. It sounds like you're talking to your little sister about something, and she's just telling you, she's just giving you this. It doesn't sound, it sounds believable, but it also does sound like savage. That's what I call, listen, I just think if everything that Diddy's being accused of is true, and I, on Chanel's reality, believe all of it, but that's just me in my opinion. I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay. But it sounds true. It sounds believable to me. It does. And the reason it sounds most believable is not about the entertainment business and not about the money and all that, the glitz and the glam. It sounds mostly believable because of what seemingly every victim has said, is that they took even just a sip of something and they were not the same. And so they can't remember everything. And so my thing is, that's what makes it believable, because all these people that don't know nothing about each other all have a very similar story. And some people would run with that and be like, oh, well, they just copied their story and put it over here. But I'm just saying, a lot of these people, their paths have not crossed. So how would they know anything? But all of their stories, if you read the lawsuit, I'm not just talking about what you heard or whatever the case may be, but if you read the lawsuits, a lot of the different things are very similar. I was trafficked. I was told this, and then when I got there, it was something else, but they gave me a drink, or they told me they made it to where it was like, I need to, like high pressure. Even Dame Dash, I remember if y'all go to whatever website he has now, but he did an interview after Jaguar Wright went on to Piers Morgan's show and said that Beyonce and Jay-Z are, what did she call them? They're, what did she say? They're something little couple. Anyway, she basically said that Jay-Z and Beyonce was putting people on planes unconscious, and she referred to Aaliyah and some other things. But after that came and basically blew up on the internet, oh God, I just lost my train of thought. Oh Jesus, it was something else I was going to say and I can't remember now. But if I remember later, I'll come back on here and I'll tell you. I might put it in the comments. But listen, I believe the victims. I'm at this point. This is how I look at the law, because the law for victims, the victims have a time frame for when they could say someone victimized them, but the perpetrator doesn't. And I asked a question of an attorney, this exact question on one of my content creators, Make It Make Sense. If y'all haven't gone to his channel, go to his channel. Shout out to Make It Make Sense. Love him. Like his videos, subscribe and all that. But like, he had an attorney on his show when this Diddy thing broke. And my question has always been this: why are we limiting the victim, but we're allowing the perpetrator to go on? And this is what this man said, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically he said, it's because if this man or this perpetrator, but he was talking about a man, goes on with his life, he doesn't want to have that hanging over his head. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean? What are you listening to yourself? You're a whole ass lawyer. And he was just really explaining it, why the law is the way it is. But essentially what he said is the law is made to protect the perpetrator. It is not made to protect the victim. It basically limits, that's why it's called a statute of limitations. It limits only the victim. And then you got to have proof. That's why they always say it's his word against her word, or whatever the case may be, because it's very difficult to prove sexual assault. It just is. And even if, let's say, even if that person says, yeah, I had, he did sexually assault me, and I did a rape kit, and I have proof because his DNA is, whatever. Still doesn't matter. You know why? Because all he has to do is say, well, I did have sex with her. She liked the rough, whatever. It was consensual. The only way you're going to be able to prove it wasn't, someone else has to verify it, or you have to have it on tape, or you have to maybe get him on tape saying he did that. And then even with that, there's always a way around, because even with that, it's like, well, I was high whenever she called me that day. I don't know. I could have said anything. It's sad, because that's what the system is set up with. And that's why I was telling Carmen earlier, I'm like, it didn't make any sense to me, or it made really perfect sense to me, that the Southern District of New York is saying, let's just give this whole year to let all these people come forth, and it doesn't matter when you were assaulted. Why wouldn't you say, let's do that for the whole United States of America? We know New York isn't the only place that we have victims, so why would you not do that? And I'm not saying anything bad towards them. I'm just saying logically, if you're allowing this in the state of New York, there's a problem. And I always say this on my lives, for the people who think, oh, no, they just lying on these men. They just want the money. They just want the clout. They just want all of the things, right? First of all, women are not, I don't know why. Y'all need to get out of y'all's heads that women are helpless and we are uneducated. We don't know anything. Like, what are you talking about? The only thing that we can come together to get our lives together is to say, hopefully this man gives me an opportunity. Fuck out of here. Like, stop the nonsense. Absolutely not. Women are the backbone of this country. Get it together. We are. How many men can just go on with their life and know they got 3 kids? Women cannot. We'd be looked at as the worst people on planet Earth. It just is what it is. So it's like, but if we want to keep it a buck, we all have this collective unconsciousness about men. I'm not saying all men are any kind of way, so let's not do that. I've been married for 20 years. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it doesn't matter if you're in the United States of America or if you're in Timbuktu. We all know there isn't a daycare on the planet Earth that's run only by men. We don't have to do too much thinking as to why that is. You taking your child to the daycare that's run only by men? Absolutely not. And there's a reason you're not. Just saying. But you'll take your newborn or your whatever, your 3-year-old to the daycare run with only women. Just saying. And I'm not saying that women aren't perpetrators too. Obviously there are. I'm just saying the statistics typically say and lean towards men. That's all I'm saying. I underline what I'm saying. I have empirical data that backs up what I'm saying. And I'm not saying all men or any, I'm not speaking in absolutes, but I'm saying we all have a collective unconsciousness. And we all know what I'm saying makes sense. Makes sense. But anyways, so I'm like, why can't we use that law for every state? I've always said that because I've always felt like there's so many people that won't ever come forward because nobody's going to believe them or people are going to try to shame them or whatever the case may be. Now, do I think that there are people in the world that do go out there and they want to do this, that, and the third? Yes. Do I think they down with whatever? Yes, I do think. Because isn't that what that Miami girl said? What's her name? Young Miami? In her interview, she was like, what did she say? I'm literally a whore. Like, literally. Like, girl, you almost 30 years old. That's what you're saying to the world? You got kids? Knock it off. Again. But she seems to be silent too. I haven't heard from her. It's weird. But anyway, like I said, if you want to, please like the video. I would love your support. Please hit on a little bit and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. You like the content that you're receiving. But let me just say this one more time. Everything on Chanel's Reality is, in my opinion, it is for, I have to always remember this, entertainment purposes only, and it's all alleged. And I want to say thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Chanel's Reality. I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.